Thank you, Dave. Hope you guys can see the presentation.
So that, yeah.
Yeah. So today probably we are going to cover this or spend the next 25-30 minutes covering about 2 to 3 topics, which are close to my heart, uh, and and uh, and possibly look at um, exchanging a few views during the presentation and at the end of the presentation, right? So. Chatbots like Dave was saying and Richard and everybody knows is a new way of communication and it's a new face of brands, right? uh, Typically most of the organizations have their first contact with the chatbot, and then hand it over to various functions in the bank, in the organization, depending upon um, where they want to lead those conversations to, right? So but typically the chatbot characteristics and the task, right? These two combine to give a very seamless experience to the client, and that's what probably we'll discuss in the first half. And then how will we optimize the NLP to improve the chatbot performance? And typically, what we have experienced in the past is if you're not able to solve a client information or a client query in the first 10 to 15 seconds, you have lost it. So how can we ease that is something that we'll discuss, right? If you have seen the trends on the trends around the market, you see that people are moving away from telephone, they are moving away to chat, they're more into mobile, and they're more into social media. So it's important that your brand is there at every platform that's available to the customers, right? And you service them across all channels, and the servicing is seamless, right? For example, the customer can start his journey from different places, right? Like for example, the customer might start from a website. He typically searches for a product, he receives a quote, he browses information, checks, and all these journeys at different point of time need different advices to customers. And you got to know what's required and when is it required. And this all these journeys can be powered by chatbots and AI, whether it is proactive or a reactive chat, right? Like for example, I start on the website, I browse for some information about wealth products on the website, but when I'm traveling, I want to find more, I keep chatting on my WhatsApp, or I open my mobile app and talk to customers. So that integration has to be there at some point of time, and that can be powered by AI. So, or in fact, if you want another journey where a bank initiated or organization initiated a targeted campaign, typically it'll flow into a product related call, or an appointment fixing, etc. Or you can, if the customer is interested, you can just click on a link and then it will go to your application pages and other things. So at every point of time, you exactly, if you know the previous experiences of the client and previous touch points where he has done, you can advise him properly through AI and human assisted channel. And that's what we are trying to do. What we have seen is and the surveys have also uh, proved that chatbots are here to stay. You cannot avoid them, especially in the COVID scenarios where customers need information, users need information, they need advice, they need to talk to somebody, and you cannot have an army of people sitting behind telephone lines or desktops or chat rooms, and it's just discussing with them. So the chatbots make it very easy, and 61% of the customers say that they're here to stay. uh, One of the interesting points in the earlier presentation also, which we saw, was the experience has to be seamless, right? If you 84 to 85% of the customers say that if the message is personalized and contextual to his or her behavior, right, over the past, and his or her interactions, previous interactions, or his or her account, related to his account, right, then that's where they are more engaging with us and they are happy, right? So, and the natural choice is an AI powered chatbot. So so typically the chatbot, right, will have to have 5-6 characters in my view, right? It needs to be accessible, means you need to be there where the customer wants you, whether it is a channel of a messaging channel, a social media, a website, a mobile, or in fact a voice, or what we are also trying in the bank to do is for high-end customers like priority and private, we are giving we are providing a chatbot, but often assisted with the RM, right? So all three-way conversation keeps happening. You need to be trustworthy, right? The bot should explain or should be able to show you that hey, you can trust me. I'm giving you the right information, and if I don't know, like I'll hand it over to the person, right? You got to have some empathy in the conversation flows that you develop. Like for example, the customer says, I've lost my card, right? You just cannot go back and say, hey, look, oh, okay, I can help you with that. But if you add a little bit of empathy to it, hey, I'm sorry to hear that. I'll block your cards. I will try to send you the new card. So those kind of conversations will always help. You have to be reciprocal. You got to grow relationship with the client, and also try to be engaged. So these are the 5 6 characters which I think play a very important role in developing a persona for a chatbot, right? And the persona can differ from organization to organization, right? Somebody in a fashion world can have a very light-hearted, humorous persona, but somebody in a banking might not go uh, too far on being light and humorous, right? They would still like to bring you back to the conversations on banking, conversations related to transaction, but still make it more easy conversation, a friendlier conversation, right? So typically these conversations can be divided into 3 parts, right? Uh, a beginner kind of a thing, right? A beginner, intermediate, and an advanced stage of conversation. Now this can basically, depending upon the organization and how you want to rate it. But, like for example, the chatbot in Stanchart Bank, we have developed a persona and we have named it Stacy, right? So it's accessible. It's always available on websites, mobiles. We are making it available on IVR now, going forward. And if you're able to basically do 3 things, like being accessible, trustworthy, and empathic, then it's you get a you're able to solve queries, but customer expect more from you, right? And that's when you build the next level, which is intermediate. You try to be reciprocal. You try to understand what he's saying. You want to give more information about the banking needs that he has. Like for example, if you want to know what are my last 15 20 transactions that I've done, the better way is to say that, look, you have these are your 15 transactions, but you spend most of it on dining, you have spent most of it on transport. So those kind of categorization will help you understand. And the next level, and to go to the next level, you can always say, look, you have spent 20% of your uh, money in dining. Do you want to do you want us to give you a trigger when you reach, uh, let's say, 25% of your cost, right? Or that's something that will keep the customer engaged and other things. You can also in fact advise, right? Like probably this could be a very vague example right now, but if you're trying to book a ticket 6 months down the line, when hopefully everything opens up, or at least there are some bubbles which open up for travel. If somebody is booking a ticket, you can offer him a travel insurance. So these are some of the things that will keep the customers engaged. They are talking to the bot. They think that you're not a question answer or a FAQ, or you're just not answering questions, but you understand the customer properly, you understand them properly, and you're advising them, right? So that improves the customer sentiment, and that's what we've also experienced when we were developing it in the bank, right? Now, but chatbots typically do a lot of tasks, right? They answer questions, they pull information from the back end, they take action, they send you alerts, and they also have a capability to do big things around wealth, investments, etc. is what we have seen, and possibly handoff, right? For example, you basic question and answer is something which they typically do. You can integrate with your backend systems. What we have done is we have integrated with our CRMs. We have integrated with the recommendations engine. We have integrated with our core banking systems at the back end. So let's say the customer wants a balance, customer wants last 10 transactions, customer wants to know how is he spending his money, etc. We can easily tell him, right? We take complaints, we take requests on card, we write it back to the because we have deep integrations with the backend, we write it back to the core banking systems, etc. So the customer need not go out of the chatbot or talk or is not pulled into another channel, right? We keep him on digital. On, let's say for example, if the customer has is chatting with us, right, on chatbot, we would like him to be there and not transfer him to an online channel or a voice channel or any other channel, or ask him to talk to an RM for simple actions. And we will continue to build a lot of service requests, sales requests on or a conversational sales through the chatbot, right? Simple requests like applying for a supplementary card, applying for a credit card are simple requests that can be taken because we have integrated with credit scoring systems, etc. in a few markets, and that helps us a lot. So typically what makes a good chatbot? Good chatbot is typically a good persona, a good interactive persona, and what kind of tasks that you want to perform will help you, right? It can be a sales related intent, it can be a service related intent. IT help desk is big. You have HR services which are going forward and implementing chatbot. I know a few companies who are deploying chatbots for hiring people and shortlisting resumes, right? And then finance, of course, is financial services is also a big game. So what we have done in StanChart, right? I'll the next few minutes is I will take you through what we have done in StanChart and how we are progressing through the chatbot, right? So the persona of the chatbot is in line with our brand values, right? So we have three brand values, which is never settle, do the right thing, and better together. So we have built our persona of the chatbot uh, to ensure that Stacy speaks the way Standard Chartered wants its employees to behave, right? We treat Stacy as our digital employee, right? And build a persona around that so that when Stacy engages with customers, it's this more humanized way of engagement, right? So some of the things I've already told you. Uh, we have a light-hearted but light. We have an ageless and a very light, humorous bot in the markets where we have deployed, and we have received some amazing feedback around personas of our bot, right? So what we are doing with Stacy is Stacy will be the first point of contact for all customer interactions, whether it is voice, chat, irrespective of the channel, and it's supported by a robust NLP and NLU engine. And what we have, like I earlier said, we have integrated with our core banking platform, CRM, etc. And we use heavy analytics to support Stacy for answering questions. And of course, when Stacy doesn't answer, it hands off to an human assisted channel, whether it is RM or a chat agent, right? So something different that we are doing is, since in the bank we have different segments of customers, priority, private, then you have the personal banking segment, and specifically depending upon the query and depending upon the type of request, the routing happens to the specific segment of customers. Like for example, if I'm talking about a wealth product, right, with and I'm a high net worth individual, then the conversation will get routed to the RM or a wealth advisor. But if I'm talking about a very simple query around um, how do I apply for a card, how do I take a mortgage, what is the eligibility, etc., it then goes to a different set of people who are specialized in handling that. So that those kind of routing engines always help, because you're routing the customer to the right person for a right conversation, right? And that's what we're doing. What we're also in parallel doing is we are going to have AI at the core of all interactions, right? So like I said, AI and chatbot and voice bots, etc., will be the center, or with the first point of contact. So any traffic or any conversations around web on the website, social media, messaging apps, SMS, email, you name the channel, and we will have an automated response going back. And automated response here means is not like a simple out of office response, but a contextual reply with proper information is something that we will achieve in 3 to 4 years for the top 10 markets, right? So we have already started deep integrations with a couple of channels. We have another few channels coming on, but the core point is to have have AI at the center of everything, right? So that it helps you, not only helps you to ease traffic, but also helps you to give seamless experience across all the channels, because your knowledge portal or your knowledge bank, where AI is pulling the information from, is at the core of it, right? So this is a very critical, in our view, and in our strategy. We think that AI should be the first point of contact in that. And to achieve that, right, we are doing a few experiments around a few initiatives that we're doing, and I can walk you through, to build a very robust NLP engine, right? So what we're doing is we are doing the speech and text analytics, analytics of it is. So we do calls and chat categorization. We try to do root cause analysis. So just to give you a simple example, right? We have run run uh, run about we have experimented with about 400,000 to 500,000 calls in one of our markets, for inbound and chat, and about another 500,000 calls for outbound, to understand the gaps, and to automate most of those queries, right? And interestingly, we found that 40 to 50% of the queries can be easily handled and managed through the chatbot and the voice bot. So the idea is not to cut headcount or not to reduce staff. The idea is to use the staff which is available for right purposes, but not to do basic things like balances, transactions, service requests. We want to elevate the profile of our frontline staff to from more of servicing to an advisory kind of a position, where we can be good advisors on different products, different initiatives, different market trends, etc., so that customers can take an informed decision. So we're trying to elevate the profile of the frontline, and we are what we will do is through speech analytics and text analytics, we'll automate. So this again will be a backbone for the chatbot and voice bot to learn, right? And basically also act as assistance to agent, right? Let's say, for example, uh, I'm on the IVR, I'm talking, I've pressed a couple of buttons around credit card servicing, etc. So the agent knows exactly that these are the places where he has touched, this is what he's spoken earlier, and then the chatbot can be an advisor to the frontline as well, saying that, look, these are the conversation that was happened on the voice IVR, voice channel, before it landed at the agent, and then it assists you with further questions and queries, and parallelly learns as well. So so this is helping us a lot, to automate a lot of journeys. We have enabled a few journeys on mobile for self-service options, and also automated it for voice and this thing. So because doing it digitally will always help the clients as from a self-service point of view. What we are also doing is a machine comprehension, right? Where the bot, basically, uh, it reads a lot of documents and a lot of knowledge, and is assisting the customers, not the customers, but the front line, right? Which is the RM or anybody, or RM or the front line, the call center agent, or the chat agent, to answer queries. So this is something that we have successfully done POC, and we will get into production in quarter 1, quarter 2. So this will significantly reduce uh, the time taken for agents to respond for any specific queries, doubts, etc. This can also funnel into the chatbot for customer response. So it helps both the ways. You might you because any big organization or most of the organizations have a huge knowledge base, and the processes keep changing, and this is something that helped us during the COVID as well, where our agents were working from home, the call center agents, and passing new information to them, helping them with keeping the new processes updated, any rate of interest change, or any eligibility criteria change, or any process change was done through this, and they extensively used it during our proof of concept, and it helped a lot. If you have people sitting in one place in a one contact center, it's easier. But if when we moved our people away and they were working from home, this was a big win for us. uh, so typically then, right, voice bots and chatbots are two different use cases, and two different advantages, and for them, right? So voice bot, we want to do a free flow conversation. We are implementing in smaller markets, but for bigger markets, we still contemplating, because of the experience is something that we don't want to compromise on. But yeah, so we are trying to get into the voice bot space. There are a few experiments, and it's here to stay, right? You got to automate, you got to integrate, and it's easier when you have your backend integrations completed, right? If you already have your core banking systems, CRMs integrated, it's pretty simple. I so from our previous experiences, what we've learned is you take the lead with the conversation, right? It's always good to take the lead and ask, how do you want how do you want to help, how can you help. Oh, because customers can go haywire, right? They can ask anything and everything under the sky, but you got to lead, right? You got to say that, okay, look upfront, saying that I can do 6 things for you today, and let me know which of these 6 things you want me to help on, right? I think that's because it sets the context to the customer, right? And that I think that's very important, because chatbots cannot do everything, to be honest, right? uh, Chatbots can do certain tasks, and then keep on improving from there. Today you do 6, tomorrow you help learn, you enable it for another 4 or 5 services. But at any given point of time, you got to set expectations with the customers, saying that, look, this is what I can do, I can help you with. Or you can upfront say that, look, these are the things that are happening, or these are the top 5 6 things which the customers are asking me, and I've successfully done it. You want to help me, you can do. Always start small. You can start small with 4 or 5 intents, uh, about 40 50 FAQs, and connect it to your website journeys, connect it to your mobile journeys, etc., right? And that will help a lot. uh, you avoid confirmation, don't confront, and confirm, give confirmation, right? You always have a smoother flow. Like I earlier said, sound human, because peop, while you upfront tell the customer that you are a machine, or you're a chatbot speaking, but when the conversation becomes friendly, interactive, and human, people love to talk to you, right? Like for example, in one of our markets, the chatbot answers about 150,000 questions a month. Okay, and that's a huge number. 20% of our queries are around eligibility, apply, sales related queries, and we have seen tremendous interest when you advise a customer and make it a little personal, right? Like for example, you want to apply for your credit card, then you might want to go back and ask, saying that instead of giving a link to apply for a credit card or taking them away, you might want to ask, what lifestyle do you like you travel a lot, or you like cashback, or you like a credit reward points card or something like that, and then build a conversational flow around it, make it personal, understand what the customer need is, and then do it. And last but not the least, you always optimize, right? A, you'll always have certain portion of queries not answered by the bot, right? You feed them in, you optimize, you measure, you discover over a period of time that some of the content is not being used, right? Now when some of the content is not being used, it doesn't benefit if you keep that content in the bot. It's always because the model fails. Your margin of errors is very high, right? So you always optimize the content, see that which questions are being used, what's the feedback, what's the sentiment score of that, match it. So it's a continuous process. Always monitor and observe. This thing is what I would say. Last but not the least, what we have done with Stacy, like I earlier said, was we have three basic things, right? We've made it easy and effortless for customers. We allow questions. It's a free flowing conversation, but we also have a few guided conversation flows in the bot to help everybody, right? We have personalized and relevant content for customers who have authenticated, right? And for people who have already visited the websites earlier, we give them real time offers, uh, and and uh, and also we do some push notifications around birthdays, around anniversaries, etc. Right? We give them push notifications around your EMI due dates. We alert them when the EMI is due. So these are some of the things we do which are personalized, right? And then we we use a very strong analytics engine to profile the customer and then offer him relevant products at an appropriate time. If you, if he if the customer has is around 30s and 40s, we advise them insurance and long term wealth plans, etc. So these are some of the things that we're doing, which is helping us a lot. And like I earlier said, when you tie all these three things, and if you are performing at an optimum level, then you exactly can answer the customer queries in about 10 to 15 seconds. You know the intent, you're able to pinpoint his problem area and solve it. And that's what we're trying to do at Stanchart, on both voice and the chat platforms that we're doing. All right. uh, I think with this I come to an end of the presentation. And conversational AI, like I said, is here to stay, and we should continue evolving this, and there's a continuous evolution.